At some point in the digital age of boss babes, new money, and ambitious rookies, we stopped consulting our village's wisest. Women have been the heartbeat of the world within their respective communities, workforces, and families since the dawn of time. They are the magic makers, the peacemakers, and the ass kickers. Let's celebrate them with the matriarchy party. Hello, and welcome back to Matriarchy Party. I'm really getting my jingle down. Sometimes I sing it, sometimes I don't. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Today I have a real treat for you. My good friend of 10, 15 years, so many years, Celine Rille is here. And let me tell you a little bit about her. She creates community and connection as the co-owner and proprietress of the McKinley Club, a badass downtown Phoenix co-working space that I am so lucky to be a part of. Celine has curated a space that blurs the line between office, coffee shop, and home through thoughtful design and by hosting weekly gatherings from happy hours to yoga and civic engagement events. After immigrating from Great Britain to Arizona in 2001, Celine worked as a photo director at the Arizona Republic for a decade. She curated interior decor and happenings for hotels. That's where we first worked together, and later cultivated business development and community events for a commercial real estate development group. She's done so many things. Oh my gosh. Combining her love of community, aesthetics, and great wine, Celine opened the McKinley Club with her husband, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. We love you too. In 2014, eager to nurture entrepreneurs, artists, and advocates, the people who make Phoenix a place she is so proud to call home. I love that as a Phoenician. I love that just because I learned so many hats that you've worn. Celine, I have admired you for so long. I'm so honored that you would be here with me. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get into it. I feel like it's been so cool to see the evolution of your career. You're a mother now, but still giving off the has it all together boss babe vibes.
I'm so glad I'm giving up those vibes because it takes a lot of work to make it look like I have it
to
together.
Look so effortless, huh? Well, thank you for being here. And I just love you make Phoenix cool. You're one of those that just keeps the city happening. And maybe I don't know, when you have children, I'm sure you're not at every event every night anymore, sometimes, in the past. But it feels like you're doing all the things, you're supporting all of the local cool business owners. And now especially that you have McKinley Club, you're just fostering the community in a bigger way than ever. And it's just so exciting to see it. And now you're going to open a second location. We'll get into all that, but welcome.
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you.
Who is your matriarch that we're going to be talking about today?
I think we're mostly going to be talking about my mum.
What's her name?
Mum is Rita.
Rita.
Yeah, Rita Hache.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, to kick it off, I usually ask, when we think of a matriarch, we think of a woman who's the head of their family, tribe, or organization. When in your life did you feel like you looked around and you were all of a sudden the matriarch? You were in charge, or you had to demonstrate those traits either by necessity or not?
It's kind of interesting because it's not something that I think ever occurred to me. It just I look around sometimes and I realize, okay, yeah, I'm not 16 anymore. When did this happen? Suddenly I've got 2 kids running around and a dog over there, and my husband sat on the couch, and I'm just like, when did all this happen? I have a job. I'm a grown up. It felt like it happened overnight. But yes, it's just those odd occasions, those rare moments, when I'm putting the kids in the bath and I'm like, whoa, here I am. Okay, I'm doing it.
We're just doing the thing you do.
Yeah, we're doing it. So it's not something that I ever strived or really had a massive turning point in my life. It just kind of gradually and organically happened.
I love that. And how old are your 2 kids?
I have a son who's 8 and my daughter is 6.
Think of it.
Yeah.
So that's a very fun age. I feel like they're probably getting busier
They're busy, they're fun, they've got a ton of personality, they're very like me. So I get it, and it drives me nuts.
You're like, taste of my own medicine here.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. Well, I feel like you're the first guest who has human children that we've talked to. So we'll talk about them throughout this chat. So you started the McKinley Club now.
Almost 10 years ago.
10 years.
Yes. Next year's our 10th anniversary.
That is so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been 100 years and also 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so you have a second location coming.
Yeah, we're opening a second location next year. We'll be bookending downtown. So our current location is just on the west side of downtown. The new location will be on the east side of downtown. Members will be able to go between the two spaces. We'll really be ramping up all our community events in the new location. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
I love that. What is your role there as the proprietress? I'm sure you do a little bit of everything depending on the day.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, being a business owner, it's a big deal. It's something I never thought I'd do. Again, happened very organically. But I mean, it's everything. When you run a business, it's not just sitting at the desk and, wearing a smart suit and, being a boss lady. It is very much I'm cleaning the toilets and refilling the, hand towels and making sure there are snacks and, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm also get to be out there and I'm, planning events for our members and seeing who I can connect with who and how we can help local businesses strive and, also supporting the neighborhood. We're part of the Grand Avenue neighborhood downtown, so I'm always trying to connect with the other businesses down there and see how we can support each other. So there's a lot of that going on too, and that's the really fun part. That's the creative part that's kind of my jam.
Yeah, well, I feel like you do such an excellent job with events and keeping people connected. I mean, that's the whole point of it. But sometimes I feel like people get so lost in their work that they're not talking to each other. So I feel like creating a space where in some areas of the office, you have to talk to people, but then having events and happenings weekly that people can participate in or not if they're way too busy. But I feel like there's such an opportunity for synergy and connection, and like that's what makes your space and the city so cool and great. And other businesses thrive by maybe getting to tap in another local artist or creator or business owner that they couldn't, and delegate those things out.
It's been so fun. And it's from everything from, somebody hiring the marketing firm to do their website to, we have therapists there. So some people have found their therapist through us. Some people are like, oh, I'm getting married next year. I'm going to hire the wedding planner that works at the McKinley Club. It's like it's business and it's personal life and it's all kind of connected in this one space.
I was going to say, you're just like, every aspect of your life is covered through the building. If you just look care of, exactly. What do you think that the events and kind of community outreach, that's your favorite part of your job?
Yeah. That's the most creative. It's the most fulfilling part of my job. It's the part that makes me feel like I'm actually really making a difference. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure is thrilling as cleaning toilets and like the logistics of operating a business is, it's important to know, like, you don't want to do anything that you're going to have any of your staff do, or you wouldn't ask them to do anything you are not willing to do yourself.
Oh no, we've done it all.
But you're involved in every aspect of it. Cause I know anytime I send an email to your, hello, even if you have a million aliases, it's you.
It's me.
Hello.
Yeah.
I love that. What do you think? I mean, I'm sure success has evolved throughout your career in all of the various roles and hats you've worn. But what do you think success means to you, or has that evolved? I'm sure it has, but especially like the older you get, I'm sure like the definition of that changes.
Yes, I've definitely, when I was younger, success to me was, fame and fortune, and all the traditional ideas of success.
Sure.
The Michael J. Fox movie, The Secret of My Success, or whatever. Whereas it's like, you got to be the big man in the suit and run the world.
Yeah.
That absolutely changed. Yes, as I've aged, I've kind of settled into an idea of success that feels a lot more comfortable to me. And it's not something that's out of reach that you're kind of, aiming for all the time, but it's more of like an appreciation of what you have. And I've very much settled into that now, where the fact that I really enjoy waking up every day and I'm excited about what's to come. The fact that going to the McKinley Club just brings a smile to my face. I love it every day I walk in there. I'm like, I love this space. I love the people. Gives me energy. That to me feels like huge success. And then coming home and sitting down, we have a roof over our heads. My kids are healthy. That is success to me.
It's
now.
so true.
Yeah.
I mean, the evolution of success not being all about the name and lights and like milestones that you're hitting in that way. But I feel like, gratitude is the root of everything good, I think. And just looking around, like, what is that quote? Like, don't forget to look around and like be appreciative for the things that you were like once pining for. And now that they're like your reality and you're like, it's hard not to move
Yes.
on to the next accomplishment, goal, milestone. But you're like, oh, I used to like be manifesting this. This was on the vision board last year and now we're in it. And the fact that you can wake up and be excited to go to work. I mean, that's like more than so many people can say.
Yeah.
I know every time I walk in there, I'm like, oh, I don't get in there enough because I feel like my elderly dogs, they would prefer I co-worked from my couch. But the vibes are immaculate. I feel like the playlist that I'm sure you're making, like the scent, the feeling, it feels like very professional, but like so hip and cool. And like you did such a great job designing the space and just to make it feel cool and fun place to be. I feel like a lot of co-working spaces are very sterile. And sometimes that's maybe inspiring for a different type of business owner.
Yeah.
And so there's something for everyone. But I feel like
we very much wanted to make a space that didn't feel like an office.
yeah.
So
No, it feels like you're like hanging at your friend's house,
Yeah.
but like your body doubling.
Yeah.
I guess that's that ADHD phrase that you're like, I'm bottle doubling so that I'm getting work done because there's people around me doing
Yeah.
things. So watch
Yeah.
me click, click, like Kermit. But
Yeah, it's surprising how efficient you can be in that space. You know, there's music playing, like you said, you know, the
Yeah.
decor is not your typical office.
Yeah.
And yet you walk in there and people are like busy and up to stuff. And that's really contagious, that feeling. And just get in
Get
the
it
mode.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I come in for like a couple hours and just like crank it all out because you're literally like, ooh, I'm inspired. I'm excited to be here. I have my business lady clothes on.
Yeah.
Watch me go.
Yeah.
Crank it all out. So amazing job. I'm sure this has had to come up a lot throughout your many lives, many careers that you've led. But is there a time where describe a time where asking for what you want paid off? Like maybe you had to advocate for something and you're like, oh, I know I can do this. Put me in.
Yeah. I mean, I've advocated for myself in every job interview I've been in. I've taken a few different career paths. And so every pivot, I've had to kind of sell myself because every job that I have had zero experience in before. And so to walk into an interview like completely cold and be like, hey, you need to give me this job, even though perhaps other people that you've interviewed have had way more experience. Here's why I'd be good at it.
You're very convincing.
Turns out, who knew? Yeah. I must have been because, I initially left college in England with a degree in filmmaking and kind of pivoted there. I was more interested in photography and pursued a career as a photo editor. And again, I'm coming in with a very minimal portfolio. This is not my area of study, zero.
But I'm a quick learner.
Yeah,
put me
exactly. But obviously managed to sell myself in interviews and landed a job at a magazine in New York, and then came here and found myself as a features photo editor at the Arizona Republic. And then from there to move into design and curating events for hotels. Again, massive career pivot.
Yeah.
Totally different ball game. And again, multiple interviews with the hotel company that were opening the hotel, and they trusted me with it. I'm like, here, run with it, and I did it. And again, after that, to go into marketing for a real estate development company, again, completely different career path. And I figured it out every time, and maybe that was what was more important, was the fact that I'm able to be so flexible and able to be malleable that way, and figure things out. That's taught me a lot. That's me, I think.
Well, that I feel like is not, part of it is not teachable in that way of just being like, we're going to, what is that silly expression? Like, we're going to build the plane while we're flying it. Like, it's just being able to be thrown into a new environment and like thrive at such a great, fast pace and such great success.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were doing your work with the hotels, that was like when we first worked together.
Yeah.
When the ye old Phoenix Style Collective, for any of you long time longtime fans, the fans from the 2012 era, but many a blogger conference a decade ago. So that was such a fun way to work together. And I feel like that was when blogging was at its
height,
peak, man. And I'm like, wow. Sometimes I think about the amount of collectives there are everywhere I turn. I'm like, wow, we were really onto something. Yeah. But, also had to do some hard pivots there. I think that is so encouraging also. I wanted to note, because I think people get so in their heads of not having the right experience.
Or people feel locked in.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I have my degree in this.
Of course.
Hence, my career path must go in this direction.
Right.
And some people that's great. And obviously if you, for example, studied medicine or something like that,
Sure.
given, hundreds of thousands
sense.
of dollars and multiple years of your life to it, it does make a lot of sense. But for me, I liked that I wasn't locked in. I liked that I got to try a bunch of different stuff and put my talents to use in different ways. That was really exciting for me.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm sure there is overlap in terms of like the creative process and your eye for design. And I mean, there's some that are like under the umbrella, but a lot of it is literally like learning a whole new skill set and a whole new, real estate. Like I'm sure you walked in not knowing anything about real estate and having to just like get up to speed so quickly. Yeah. So I think that's amazing and so encouraging because I think a lot of people want to take the pivot and they either think like, oh, I'm locked in here or my resume doesn't read this but I think there is a statistic that says like, and now I don't know the percentage, but like men apply for so many more jobs that they're not qualified for historically than women. And so that's very encouraging to just like go for it. Yeah. Get the interview and then give them the old razzle dazzle in person and then they can't say no to you. Yeah, because it does happen, I feel like. And like self-love and confidence are so hard to just build that muscle. And like once you do, amazing things can happen. And then a little doodly-doo shooting star going over our heads here. I love it. Do you think it's possible to do it all?
No.
Is that even a real
thing?
Well,
it depends on your definition of all.
Yeah.
Probably. But no. No, you can't do it all. It's exhausting. I mean, one thing is exhausting in life. I think particularly for women, the idea of doing it all or having it all is that you're this excellent career woman, high achieving career woman. You're a wonderful mother and you show up to every, event that your kid has. You're, making the Pinterest perfect birthday parties and, and then you're also, incredibly healthy, cook like a pro.
Cook 3 times a day, every single day.
Have this fabulous social life and, like the razzle dazzle is in every aspect of your life. That to me is how I perceive that phrase of have it all. Mm-hmm. And no, that's not possible. That's, and why would we want that to be our lives?
It's a little Stepford wifey, like if we were just like beautiful robots all the time.
No, absolutely embrace who you are and embrace your strengths. And my strengths are not birthday parties. And that's fine. We buy some, Spider-Man plates at Target and, pick up a cake and it's totally fine. Our kids still have the best time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's cake there.
Yes.
What's not to like?
Yeah, we don't, I know my strengths. My strengths lie not in birthday parties, but, I'm really good at book time. I do the best voices when I read at the nighttime
Crush
book.
it.
I crush the book time.
See? And like, that's what your kids are going to remember. Yeah. And like being present and fun and not being like panicked over like making a Pinterest perfect birthday party. I feel like that must be a relief. Like, I have realized that my strength is not hosting. I always think like, I'm the oldest daughter, come to my house and I will. And I'm like, I'm stressed the whole time.
Yeah, that's just not fun.
That's not fun for anybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably like, is this what the holidays are about? Like Courtney's doing dishes and heavy sighing. Like, so this last Thanksgiving, my little sister's like cooked all the things. And I was like, this is the life for me. I'm showing up and bringing champagne and enjoying myself. And they're so good at it. Yeah. And they are great cooks. I wouldn't say cooking is my strength either. And so it was great to just, sometimes there's such a strength and there's a joy in finding like, you know what, that's not my strong suit. Mm-hmm. That is so, and that's okay that I can delegate or give somebody else an opportunity that like, I mean, that goes to your business too. Like, oh, I'm really good at like 5 of these things, but I'm terrible at bookkeeping. So if I can outsource that or like within your family, like this person's great at wrapping presents. Yeah. Like, I'm going to get the presents.
That. Exactly.
But like, wherever you can, let's be a team. But I think admitting that nobody has to do it all.
I think it's also, it's kind of sad that women feel under that pressure that we have to have it all or achieve it all.
Of course. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like single mother, like a lot of people, they have to do it all.
They have no choice. Yes.
They have no choice. So it's a privilege to have the support to be able to delegate, I will say. But to be operating at a 12 out of 10, like,
all the time is unsustainable.
All the time is unsustainable for whatever your categories are. If it's like wife, mom, business owner, you have a friend that you're like sustaining that relationship. And you're like, hello, it's been 3 days. I forgot to text you back.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
I
lot.
absolutely believe there's also phases in life, you know, and some phases you lean harder into maybe motherhood, maybe
Sure.
you lean further into your career, maybe you lean further into your friends.
Right.
Depending on where you're at in life. And eventually, I suppose the idea is at the end, you do feel like you have it all, right? You've done it all.
And you've kind of done the dance
yes.
and there's a compromise and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your cup can't be totally, I don't know. I always say like, my husband can't be my whole cupcake, right? And I can't be his.
Yeah.
Like, there's the icing and the sprinkles and the cherry on top, if that's your thing. But, you know, like other things have to feed that because that's a lot of pressure to put on one thing to be defining you or a measurement of success of your life. But how do you prepare for something scary? A pep talk person or a...
No, I was, and still am probably, a overthinker. There is a lot of just lying in bed, thinking through every possible scenario and trying to come up with a solution for that scenario, the perfect thing to say in that scenario, etc. So I think that's how I handled almost every scary thing.
Lots of preparation.
Yes, a lot of preparation. Until I met my husband. And then he very much taught me, because I like to what if, you know, and I would always what if the negatives. I said, okay, now, what if it all works out? What if this is a huge success?
Oh, Kevin,
Yeah.
that's great.
I don't know why it never occurred to me to what if the positive.
It's so true.
Right?
Well, and I mean, it sounds like so many things have gone in the positive direction. Like, and not to say that your life hasn't had its challenges and adversity, but that is so, I feel like Kevin's just overall such a chill guy who's just like,
He's incredibly
what,
laid
is this
back,
the end of the world? Like, no,
Yeah,
we're
we'll be
not
fine.
saving lives. We'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's chill.
It'll be great.
But that is such a good, I think I heard that the other day or like probably read a meme or something on TikTok if I'm honest. But it was like, why not, instead of saying what's the worst that could happen, like start rewiring your brain to say like, what's the best that could happen?
Yeah.
And like going through your life like that. And then things are going to open up opportunity by thinking about things like that way. But I too am the 3 a.m. overthinker club that I like to lay in.
Yeah.
What, should I have said that? Was I awkward? Did I push that person away with like how vulnerable I was the first time I met them?
Yes. Incredibly
but
relatable.
it's like,
yes.
you know, just be yourself. The right people will stick around.
Yeah.
I love that. When's the last time you did something just for fun? Creativity.
Oh, for me personally or in general? Because I mean, I would say I do something fun every day. Going to
love
work
that.
is fun, you know.
It's a mindset.
Yeah, last night with my kids, you know, Otis was running around the house with underwear on his head just for fun. And I'm like, I'm here with you, buddy. This is great. And we were like dancing it up and having a great time. So, yeah, I mean, I do little things like that for fun every day. But I just started playing tennis. So yesterday I had a tennis lesson. Excellent. And that's absolutely just for me. That is me just having fun, learning something new in my 40s. And here we are. Yeah.
Well, and you get a cute outfit is usually my inspiration for trying most new things.
Yeah.
But like, how fun is that?
It's great. I love it. I used to be competitive when I was a kid. And that competitive side of me kind of like dulled a bit in my like 20s, 30s. Start playing tennis. Turns out it's still there. Turns out I'm quite competitive and it really comes out on the tennis court.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, learning something new about yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something that was like quieted down inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really fun and it's social. Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
I love that for
you. It's really hard. It's very humbling.
And carving out time, I'm sure, seems impossible when you're like, have so many mom things, have so many business things, and you're just like an hour for myself.
Yeah.
Multiple times a week or even once a week.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I should really do laundry or something. And you're like, no, this is for me. I mean, that's a great example. Okay, well, hard pivot. Let's talk about Rita.
Okay.
Obviously, she's your mom that you've already mentioned. Did you grow up with Rita being a home architect, stay-at-home mom, or was she outside of the home as well? Or
Mom was home. You know, this was the 80s in England. So it was quite typical at that point, still in England, to have your mum be at home. Certainly for her growing up, it was very much that way. You know, she did not grow up in the era. I think England might have been a little bit behind the US. Still, a lot of women growing up in the 40s and 50s, they were not going to college. Like that was not really an option.
Did she?
No. No. She told me, she reminded me actually before I came in here that like her father famously said that, you know, she was as a woman not worth educating.
Oh.
Which stings her to this day. Clearly it stands out in her mind. Yeah, just that was kind of
That's a mindset.
Yeah,
it wasn't even an insult.
Day,
it was just
no, women. She's a woman. Yeah, you don't send a woman to college.
That wasn't that long ago.
No. Yeah. So no, Mum grew up in the era where she said there were basically 3 jobs you could have. You could be a secretary, a nurse, or a teacher. She really went outside the box. She became a stewardess. That was she was like, it's the most glamorous.
Yeah.
She got to travel. So yeah, my mum was a stewardess for British Airways for a number of years.
I love that.
Until she was pregnant with me and had to stop flying because it was just too uncomfortable to
be in the friendly skies for that long.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I was going to ask if she did go to school, do you know what she would have gone for? Or she was like...
She was really good at English, reading, literature, kind of thing. So probably along those lines.
I think being like, it's a much more glamorous time to be flight attendant.
In my mind, it's
of course, it was like
glamorous.
very Mad Men time and like outfits, lipsticks, like were they even wearing seatbelts? People were smoking on planes. Like, I'm not a smoker, but I don't know. It seems like it painted like a very cool vibe back then, but still fun. But what a cool, I'm sure, sharp pivot from what was the social norm. So I wonder if there was a connotation of just like being away from your family or what.
You know, my dad met my mum on the beach in Bournemouth, where I grew up in England. And he was drawn to her because she just had this incredible suntan, which in England, you stand out on the beach if you've got a suntan. Most people do not. Because, you know, she's been traveling the world. She's been, you know, lying on beaches all over the world. And so she's this, you know, fabulous lady.
Bronze goddess.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I think there was an era of my mum that was, you know, quite free. You know, she saw the world, which I think a lot of women from that era did not. Like, there are so many kids even that I grew up with whose, you know, parents had never left the UK.
Yeah.
And considering when you're in Europe, you know, like countries are so close by.
Exactly.
So many people of that era had not even left the UK. So the fact that Mum had traveled the world before I was born was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I imagine.
But yeah, after I was born, that was it. She stayed home and she looked after us, and she was that, you know, she was every school drop off and pick up, at every ballet lesson, at every swim meet, everything we did, she was there. Cooked dinner at home every night. Yeah, that was it.
You feel like watching that, you were like, oh, I can't wait to be a mom. Like, did you always know that you wanted to be a mom? Or?
No, I never. I actually didn't think I wanted children. It wasn't until I married Kevin
Met that
I
fun
even
guy.
considered it. Yeah. No, I was actually. I think what I'd seen, as much as I appreciated my mum being at home and having all those home cooked dinners and having all of that support, I think she pushed me to want more. And that very much stuck with me. I could see myself doing more than that, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I can't get over what her dad said to her.
No, right.
I'm still marinating.
Yeah.
What do you think the defining moments of her career and life then were?
I think it was the kids. As much as I think she enjoyed being a stewardess, what she talks about the most and what she sees as her biggest achievements in life are myself and my sister Danielle, and what we've achieved, and watching us grow up and go do all the things that she couldn't do.
That must be blowing her mind, because you both are like booked and busy and have your hands on so many cookie jars. I feel like.
Yeah. She's incredibly proud of us. That feels good.
I mean, what all are we doing if not trying to make our moms proud?
Yeah.
I love that. And now she lives in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she lives 5 houses down. She's old. My mum and dad were older when they had us, certainly for that era. And so now it's kind of my turn. You know, the tables are shifting a little bit and it's my turn to look after them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just it's a weird transition. Because, I mean, you still feel like, well, I'm just the kid.
I'm 100% the kid. Yeah. And now I'm having to take on some of the roles as, the
roles
caregiver.
Reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you get to see her so often. And she's so involved.
Yeah.
It must be so magical. I love being in the same state as my mom now. I feel like after living in California for so long, I'm like, oh, it's so important.
It's so important. Well, yeah, I mean, they moved out here to Arizona before I came from the UK. And I was actually on my way back to the UK. I'd been in New York working, and it kind of eaten me up and spat me out a little bit. I was like, all right, I'm going home. A little bit tail between my legs, heading back to London. And my mum kind of convinced me, why don't you just come stay for a little bit.
You
just
might like
check
the
out
sunshine.
Arizona. Yeah. And here I am, 20 years later.
I guess it stuck.
Yeah.
I love that. What do you admire most about Rita?
Oh gosh, I admire her nurturing nature, what a caregiver she is.
That's hard.
Yeah. And she doesn't, she has the odd moan, but overall, she does not complain. A lot of people, complain when they have to give of themselves so much. And my mum just really, she loves doing it. She loves looking after us. She really thrives. Honestly, even just cooking us a meal,
Born to do this, put me in.
Yeah.
I love that. You remember her having any sort of routine or things that she did consistently when I think now everybody's like, has a morning routine, and it's such like a buzzword or just like self-care and wellness. But I feel like that was not realistic.
Then mum did nothing for herself. It was not a thing. Women were not taught to look after themselves or fill
taking care of everybody else.
Yeah. That was absolutely, in that era, it was expected that she just looked after the kids, and there was, she shouldn't even have needs.
Right. Yeah.
Let
it
alone
wasn't that they
actually
weren't being
take care
met,
of them.
but it was like a wild idea that
Yeah.
she would even need anything else just for her.
Yes.
So selfish.
I know.
Aw.
Yeah. So she is very much the woman of that era, in that she never learned how to look after herself or do anything for herself or fill her own cup that way.
Do you think she has a hard time filling her own cup now? Or
Absolutely. She's terrible at it.
So like, oh, honey, it's not about.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, I had to, she fell actually the other day. It was quite scary. And I had to take her to the emergency room. But as I'm like picking her up off the kitchen floor, I'm fine. Just leave me. Just pop me back in bed. I'll be fine. I took her to the hospital. She had pneumonia. Like, that is my mom. Like,
Working
that's
through
the women
pneumonia.
of that. Yeah, that's the women of that era. It's
Resilience.
Like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fuss is needed over me. And you're like, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
Let's just check it out.
There's a little,
that's scary.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest things that I had to figure out when I became a mum, because the model had always been as the mother, you just do whatever it takes, and that's what I'd seen, and so that's kind of immediately the role that I took on when I had children, and was burning out within the first year. And Kevin was the one that had to like, Celine, what do you need?
What a guy.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your own life reserve on before assisting others. Oh. Well, what, like an evolution of self.
Yeah.
When like you grow up with one mindset and you're like, this is just the way that it is. This is the modeled behavior.
Yeah.
And then having to realize you're like, okay, so that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. I'm going to pass out.
Yeah. Find out there are other ways, yes. Oh,
Sure.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Right. I mean, just women in general, that we have a long way to go, I think, in society. But I think just being empowered in so many ways.
Yes.
That
The fact that the phrase mum guilt even exists.
Right. There's no dad
It
guilt.
goes to show, it just goes to show that women, we're
So
still
conflicted.
transitioning into, completely conflicted into this idea that, we can be a mum and also take care of our own needs.
Yeah. What is the best advice you've ever received, or something that stuck with you that Rita's told you, or just says a lot?
And this is actually from my grandmother. My nana, she was Irish. She always used to say, there's plenty of fish as ever there was, which is, there's plenty more fish in the sea.
Yeah.
And my mum also said
nice.
it. And it was always advice, it was back when I was dating,
Sure.
and it was always advice about, there's plenty more men out there. But actually the reason it stuck with me is because I kind of feel like it's true in every aspect of your life. And like whatever opportunity comes by, if it didn't work out or, you kind of failed or something like that, there's another one that'll be along, it's kind of like buses. There's another one that'll be along.
Yeah.
And so that, for some reason, that always kind of sticks with me, that if I have a rough day with the kids, or if I had, just felt kind of miserable, or skipped a workout, whatever it is, like,
there'll be another one.
Yeah. Plenty of fishes ever there was. Like,
plenty of fishes ever there was. It's kind of a tongue twister, but I love it. It's very cute.
Because she had that Irish lilt that when she said it came off her tongue really nicely. It just kind of stuck with me.
It's locked in there for her. I love that. And great advice. Well, some rapid fire.
Yeah.
What's one word to describe your matriarch?
Tough. It's tough. Yeah, she can handle it all.
But tough as in?
Tough as in strong, I guess. Yeah.
Not like, seems so nurturing and caring as well. So maybe not the negative connotation.
Yes. Tough as in strong. Yeah, she can handle it all. Yeah.
Is there a song, beauty tip, piece of jewelry, a fragrance, or something that makes you think of her?
She's worn forever as long as I've been around. Silver necklace, always on her.
Yeah.
So that makes me think of her. The fragrance in the 80s, my mum had long red nails, and she wore Poison. Do you remember that perfume? Poison?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was it in like the red apple?
It was like a black, purpley black kind of oval bottle, and she used to put half a bottle on every morning. Like, she reeked of this stuff.
Statement.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You get in the car with her and it's like knocking you out.
But not anymore.
No. I mean, she still loves her perfume, but it was particularly in the 80s, the long red nails and the strong perfume. Like, that was it.
I love it. Well, and maybe she had been, it's like, not empowered, not prioritized for so long. The 80s, she's like, I'm coming and I'm going to be my boldest self because
it was all it was all about the red lips,
the more
and the
is
shoulder
more.
pads, and the more is more in the 80s, big time.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I love it. How does she recharge now, and how do you recharge?
I think cooking.
Yeah?
Yeah, we both cook. I learned from her. I spent my entire childhood hanging out with my mum in the kitchen. Like, that's what I did. I came home from school and dumped my backpack and went and hung out with mum in the kitchen while she cooked dinner, and we would just chit chat. And, she cooked. She's a great cook, and she cooked every night. So by the time I went off to college, I'd never had a cooking lesson. It's not like she'd ever sat me down and said, this is how you hold a knife, or this is how you make this dish. But I knew it all just from watching. Yeah. So I was like the lone person in my college dorm that was making salmon en croûte, like while everyone else was eating beans on toast.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And so, that's like how we unwind now. I love being in the kitchen. I get into like a meditative state, just cooking and putting together a really nice meal.
I love that. Mm-hmm. I want to be there. So much of me wants to be like, just add a little of this, add a little of that. The music's on. I'm drinking wine. I'm cooking. And I cannot get it's the overthinker of a recipe that I'm like, I must follow exactly. And now, oh no, I've been cooking this 30-minute meal for 2 hours. And what am I doing? But luckily Sanford is an amazing cook. So, what are our strengths?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the favorite age you've been so far, and why? What would you think your mom's would be?
This age is my favorite age.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, every year? Yeah, every year has gotten better. So, absolutely right now, this age is wonderful. And hopefully there's, better yet to come.
Yeah.
My mum's favorite age, she does talk very fondly of her 30s. I think when she was flying and first met my dad and things, she talks she talks very fondly of that era. I mean, it was, it's the 70s, and she's a stewardess for British Airways. Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of fabulous.
Yeah.
She talks about, jazz clubs in London and all the eyeliner she'd wear and,
cool.
Hanging out with all the flight crew in Jamaica and stuff. So, I think she's got some good stories from that time.
How old was she when she had you?
36.
Oh, cool.
No, 31. I'm sorry. It must have been her 20s then. I was 36 when I had my first.
But your 20s as a flight attendant.
I'm way off. So you have to edit this bit. My mom was 31.
Rita's gonna be like, how dare you?
My mom was 31 when she had me. I was 38 when I had Otis. Whoa.
Wow.
I'm way off. Yeah. Mom was 31.
No, I mean, there's a reason that number was in your mind.
I got married when I was 36.
I love it.
That's why.
I love that. Well, what are you most excited for that's coming?
I'm excited to watch my kids grow up. I'm excited to see who they are and, you know, what they do. I'm super excited for that. That'll be really fun.
That's kind of magical.
Yeah. I'm excited for the new McKinley Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a vision in my head for it, and I'm, you know, really excited to get stuck into that and make that reality. Then
Well, to see more of you, where should they follow on Instagram?
they should follow the McKinley Club on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just at the McKinley Club. We're posting on there, you know, the space and what we're up to and things we're doing. Our other projects.
And hopefully more of you. I want more Celine and Kevin on the page.
I got to get comfy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not great at that. Yeah, that would be a good place to find us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, final question.
Mm-hmm.
You could say anything to your matriarch. What would it be?
Thank you.
That really sums it up.
Yeah, kind of does. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, she put everything on hold for us. You know, she put every ounce of herself into bringing us up and being there for us. So
You don't even realize the sacrifice until you get older,
Yeah.
whether you have kids or not.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure you're
no,
just like,
I mean,
oh my gosh, it all makes sense.
It absolutely took having children to realize what she did
Of like the delicate balance and dance that you're doing.
and how much work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just
I have high maintenance dogs, and
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Not that it's the same thing at all, so I can't
Yeah.
even imagine.
I mean, I just think back to Christmas Day was like the perfect example of it for me growing up because, you know, my sister and I were so excited Christmas on Christmas Eve. We'd go to bed late and we couldn't go to sleep because we were so excited. Mum had to stay up because in England, your stocking is at the end of your bed. Santa comes and fills your stocking and it's at the end of your bed. Mum had to wait for us to fall asleep to be able to come in and fill the
Oh,
stocking.
my
So who
gosh.
knows, like she was up until midnight, like that. And then we were so excited that we'd be awake at like 3 a.m., creeping into their bedroom like, is it time to wake up? Is it time to wake up?
She's like, I just got to
She
sleep.
just must have fallen asleep. You know, and then she'd be up with us doing all the presents and everything, which, you know, my dad didn't help with, right?
Of course.
She shopped for everything. She wrapped everything. It's all there. Like
Yeah.
the magic was all her. And then she had to cook this huge Christmas dinner. You know, in England, we do big roast turkey,
Yeah.
roast potatoes, the whole, like, just hours and hours of work in the kitchen, you know, and for all the family to come over. I'm like, this poor woman on no sleep
No.
with two, like, hyperactive
And like,
children.
who filled her stocking?
Yeah. No, she didn't have a stocking. No,
No.
there was no.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, and so I just, like, that to me is the epitome of my mum, where she just did whatever it
Selfless.
took. And yeah.
Anything to make her
Yeah.
daughters so excited.
And at the time, like, me and Danny are completely oblivious, right? We're just loving whatever we got under the tree or,
Yeah.
you know, eating all the chocolate and
And it
thinking,
was like, Mom,
this is great.
Are you excited or what?
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah, she's, exactly.
Mom needs a nap.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you, Rita, for raising such cool, awesome, powerful daughters that I'm so lucky to be friends with.
We're lucky to be friends with you.
Oh. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
Thank
That
you
was
for
so
inviting
fun.
me. It was honestly, I was very flattered.
I
that you,
loved it.
you-
Oh, of course. Come on. And I mean, just getting to know so much, a different part of you that I
Yeah.
didn't know already. But
Yeah.
well, follow the McKinley Club. And if you're local, pop in and go check out the location.
Yeah. Yeah, come visit us.
Do it. All right. Love ya.
Thanks.
Have a great week. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.